Nicola Bulley case inquest updates, Day 1. Hello my viewers, I have managed to bring the Nicola Bulley case inquest updates, for the Day 1, as and when the updates were provided from Preston County Hall. I have now compiled the updates as one video. In this video you can listen to few key witnesses' statements. The witnesses have provided some information that weren't published prior to this inquest. Let's take a look at the updates for Day 1. Update 1. Nicola's family arrive in court. Nicola's partner, Paul Ansell, and her mum, dad and sister, have just arrived in court. They are sat on the front row. Nicola Bulley case inquest, Update 2. 11:03 a.m., coroner addresses family in court. The coroner, Dr. James Adeli, has arrived in court and has addressed the family. I am sorry that you are attending court under these circumstances. You have my deepest condolences and I would be grateful if you would pass that on to the children, who are not in court for obvious reasons. 11:04 a.m., family tells coroner to refer to Nicola as Nikki. Nicola's family has told the coroner they would prefer him to refer to her as Nikki. Dr. Adeli says he's aware there is extensive social media and press interest. Nicola Bulley case inquest, Update 3. 11:36 a.m., Nicola Bulley died as a result of drowning. Nicola Bulley died as a result of drowning and was alive when she fell into the water, a Home Office pathologist has said. Dr. Alison Armour, giving evidence at an inquest at County Hall in Preston, said watery fluid and fragments of dirt found inside Ms Bulley's body were typical features we see in cases of drowning. She added that Ms Bulley was alive when she entered the water and that there was no evidence she was harmed. A Bulley case inquest, Update 4. 11:37 a.m., police diver now giving evidence. Police diver PC Matthew Thackeray, from the police's Northwest Underwater Diving Team, is giving evidence. He has been a police diver for 8 years. 11:44 a.m., Nicola Bulley had not been drinking before her death. A Home Office pathologist has said that Nicola Bulley had not been drinking before her death. Dr. James Adeli, senior coroner for Lancashire, asked Dr. Alison Armour, who was giving evidence at an inquest at County Hall in Preston, at the time of her death she had no alcohol in her bloodstream. Dr. Armour replied, "That's my opinion." 12 o'clock noon, diver's evidence continues. PC Thackeray described the scene of the riverbank where Nicola was last seen. He used a series of photographs to point out the location and the bench where Nicola's phone was found. He said, "These pictures were taken to try to show the slope down the banking towards the river itself. The images showed two areas of sloping, with the second much steeper than the first." PC Thackeray said that although the river level was higher than normal, there was around a 1-meter drop the day Nikki went missing. 12:02 p.m., difficult to get out of the water there. PC Thackeray described a man-made river wall, constructed of large square bricks, on the corner of the river. He said he presumed it was there to prevent the river banking worn away. The coroner asked, if you were in the water and trying to climb out, would it be possible to find a foothold on the bricks? PC Thackeray replied, "No, not at all. It's very difficult to get out of the water here." The coroner asked, if you have fallen and gone over the edge of the steep section, are you going to stop before you hit the water? PC Thackeray replied, "No. You would just go into the water." The distance between where Nicola was last seen and her body was found was around 1.5 miles, PC Thackeray said. He added, "There is nothing to grab hold of to help yourself back out." 12:04 p.m., water temperature was 4 degrees Celsius. PC Thackeray said that the temperature of the water when Nicola went missing was 4 degrees Celsius. A video from PC Thackeray's bodycam, filmed on Tuesday, April 4, 2023, showed him swimming down the river from the bench to where Nicola's body was found. The video shows PC Thackeray starting from the bench, making his way down the banking and climbing into the water. On the floor of the river, a pile of large rocks with sharp edges could be seen. The inquest was told that the river is about 4 meters deep at this point. PC Thackeray said, "If you're not used to it, then entering water at that temperature would lead to cold water shock. It causes you to gasp and causes your muscles to seize up. 12:07 p.m., awfully long time in very cold water." PC Thackeray explained that the riverbed does eventually slope up, but it is approximately 40 meters downstream from where Nicola is believed to enter the water. He estimated that she would have floated downstream at about a meter a second. PC Thackeray said it would have been 2 to 3 minutes before the river would bring you to the first point where a person could climb out. The coroner said, "That's an awfully long time in very cold water." 12:24 p.m., PC Thackeray's evidence continues. PC Thackeray was asked about his experiences of deaths by drowning where the water depth is sufficient to be able to stand up. He said, "I have attended a number of deaths where the water is chest deep and with a flat bottom with no flow to the water. You could avoid drowning by keeping calm and standing up, however, it doesn't happen like that when you suddenly enter cold water. You gasp and you breathe in water, and these drownings could have been prevented if they had kept calm and kept your head above the water, but it's never that simple. In this case you can't put your foot down, the river was moving, and even if you got to the point of safety it's difficult to climb out. 12:30 p.m., if you fall into cold water, float." Sophie Cartwright KC, the barrister representing Nicola's family, has asked PC Thackeray some questions. He said advice, if you fall into cold water, is to float. He said, "If you try to swim you are impaired, your muscles seize and you tire very quickly." 12:34 p.m., experts giving evidence together. Professor Mike Tipton from the University of Portsmouth and Dr. Paddy Morgan jointly produced a report looking at the mechanism by which a person dies from drowning, and are giving evidence together. Professor Tipton has published more than 750 papers on the physiological response to extreme environments such as cold water. Dr. Morgan is a consultant anaesthetist and a medical director for HM Coast Guard. He said that he and Professor Tipton lead the world in terms of expertise. 12:45 p.m., 2 breaths of water, a lethal dose, for Nicola Bulley. Professor Michael Tipton has told the inquest that 2 breaths of water would have been a lethal dose for Nicola. He said, "We estimate the temperature would have been around 3 to 5 C in the river wire, so there would be a particularly powerful cold shock response. For somebody of Nicola's size, it would have taken 1 or 2 breaths in of water to be a lethal dose." 12:46 p.m. Entering such water is a painfully cold experience. Professor Tipton was asked how a person would psychologically respond to entering cold water. He said, "You are absolutely preoccupied with the challenge you are being presented with. Those first seconds in the water, people really aren't considering anything else. We have heard people talk about routes to grab onto and points of safety, but you would not be thinking about that. You are preoccupied with attempting to hold your breath and get back to the surface. There is no normal, logical cognition going on. You are absolutely distracted, and entering such water is a painfully cold experience." 12:53 p.m. Ms Bulley would have lost consciousness in a matter of seconds, inquest told. Professor Tipton said at the temperature the river wire was on the day Ms Bulley went missing, a person would lose consciousness within around 25 seconds. He added, "It is very rapid incapacitation." He explained that it is not solely the exchange of water and oxygen that leads to a person drowning. He added that as well as taking up space in the lungs normally filled with oxygen, the water damages the lungs, the alveoli are collapsing. 1:01 p.m., Ms Bulley would only have been able to hold her breath for 1 or 2 seconds. Dr. Morgan said that if someone had taken an initial gasp from the cold water shock and then goes underwater, the length of time they would be able to hold their breath is 10 seconds at best and most likely 1 to 2 seconds. He says that when the lung damage and/or the amount of water inhaled gets to a certain point, the heart will stop pumping and the brain switches off. Professor Tipton says that if Nikki had fallen in where it is suggested, then there is a very good chance that the initial gasp would have happened under the water, which meant unconsciousness would have been far quicker. 1:03 p.m., Ms. Bulley would have died in less than 10 seconds, says expert. Professor Tipton said, "In my opinion, given the nature of the likely entry into the water, at speed down a steep slope, I think Nikki had a gasp response under the water which initiated the drowning response very quickly. She would have died in less than 10 seconds." 1:03 p.m., inquest adjourned for lunch. The inquest has adjourned for lunch. 2:21 p.m., inquest has resumed. The inquest has resumed and the first witness to take the stand is Sergeant Lorna Dennison-Wilkins. SGT Dennison-Wilkins received a doctorate after completing a thesis relating to human body movements in inland waterways. She is an expert on what happens to a body after a person dies by drowning. She said that although the clothes Nicola was wearing would have given some initial buoyancy, the air bubbles would have been removed by movement and her body would have sunk. The sergeant agrees that people can drown in relatively shallow water if the temperature is closed. She says that 44% of fatalities in water occur when someone had no intention of entering the water. 2:23 p.m., it would be almost impossible to swim against the current. Coroner Dr. Adeli has described Nicola as a holiday swimmer. He asked what it would be like to try and swim against a water speed of 1 meter per second. SGT Dennison-Wilkins replied, "It would be almost impossible to swim against the current. You would have to go with the current and then find a place of safety." 2:26 p.m., Ms. Bulley was her normal self on school run. Kay Kiernan, a member of the public who was in the area of the River Wyre when Nicola went missing, has taken over the stand from SGT Dennison-Wilkins and is one of the last people to have seen Nicola alive. The veterinary surgery receptionist dropped her children off at St. Michael's on Wyre Primary School when she was Nicola and said that she appeared her normal self and didn't appear to be anxious or in low mood. She said she had the dog Willow with her and Willow was sat in the back of the car. The two women said "morning" to each other and then started talking about dogs. Ms. Kiernan added, "I presume she was going for a walk because that's what she normally does in the morning after the school run." 2:35 p.m. Man saw Ms. Bulley from a distance and saw man in black walk towards her. Richard Fife was walking his dog on the fields close to where Nicola was last seen between 9:10 a.m. and 9:20 a.m., the inquest heard. He said he saw a male he referred to as a man in black as he walked towards where he saw Nicola and assumed he was waiting for a life. Mr. Fife said he then saw him again on his way back. He was dressed all in black and possibly a beanie hat, and Mr. Fife thought it was strange he was still there. He was about 6 feet 1 inches tall, the inquest heard. Mr. Fife said he then got in his car and drove off. When he drove past where the man had been, he was gone, the inquest was told. After hearing that Nicola had gone missing, Mr. Fife said he reported his sighting of the man in black to police. 2:37 p.m. Next witness. The next witness was sales executive Claire Cheshire. She says she saw Nikki at around 8:40 a.m. as both mums dropped their children off at school. She said, as Nikki would always do, she bent down and stroked my dog, smiling, at the same time as walking along in the direction of Garstang Road, which was very normal behavior. Ms. Cheshire said she would often see Nicola out as the two regularly took their dogs on similar walk routes. She later saw Nicola and Willow again approaching the gap between the two fields, and she could see Nicola in the corner of the lower field, the inquest was told. 2:57 p.m. Ms. Bulley had been arranging a play date for her daughter. Another witness, Lucy, has given evidence to the inquest. She had been texting Enciola to arrange a play date between their two daughters. Nicola had texted Lucy the night before she went missing, but Lucy only saw the text on the Friday morning, the inquest was told. Lucy replied at 8:13 a.m. Lucy and Nicola were due to meet up the following day, together with other mums, for Saturday night drinks. 2:59 p.m. Witness recalled finding mobile phone and dog harness. The next witness was Penny Fletcher, who owns the campus in St. Michael's on Wyre, close to where Nicola Bulley was last seen. She took her dog for a walk at 9:30 a.m. and found Willow with Nicola nowhere to be seen. Giving evidence via video link, she said, "As I came round the bend I came to a stile, I tied up my dog and climbed over the stile. I saw this Springer Spaniel. It was near the bench and then it was going towards the river where it drops down really steep. It wasn't doing anything chaotically, it was a bit giddy. I saw a mobile phone on the bench and between the bench and the river I saw a bundle in the grass. I walked down and it was one of those dog harnesses." 3:37 p.m. Nicola Bulley struggling after phone and dog discovered by bench. Nicola Bulley's partner said she's struggling after finding out her phone and dog were discovered by a bench, the inquest has heard. Retired care worker Susan Jones told the court that at around 10 a.m. on January 27 she received a call from Penny Fletcher, who had discovered Willow and the phone. She then bumped into Anne-Marie, Ms. Fletcher's daughter-in-law, who recognized a photograph of Ms. Bulley and her family on the lock screen. She then rang the local school, before speaking to Ms. Bulley's partner, Paul Ansell. Ms. Jones told the inquest, Anne-Marie spoke on the phone and said that he, Mr. Ansell, said she's struggling. 4:02 p.m. Witness, I heard a scream. Two women have told the inquest of hearing a scream near the riverside on the morning Nicola Bulley vanished. Nurse Helen O'Neill said she was with her dogs in the garden of her house on Allotment Lane, not far from a path that leads to the bench overlooking the River Wyre where Ms. Bulley disappeared. She told the inquest, I heard a scream, it's not an alarming noise, it was just over in a couple of seconds. I'm quite used to hearing the children in the school out back, but it was not that noise. I vividly remember thinking it's unusual at this time. In my head, I had two females, walking along by the river and one jumped out on the other. I didn't think anything of it until later on. There were no other sounds for me to be concerned about. 4:02 p.m., second witness also heard scream. Veronica Cleason, a housewife and club secretary for the Village Tennis Club, said, I was just about to get into the car and I heard a scream. A very short scream and my immediate thought was, somebody is having a bit of fun at the back of the graveyard. Ms. Cleason said it was an inhale scream, like a sharp intake of breath. Nicola Bulley case inquest, update 7. 4:39 p.m. Nicola Bulley's Fitbit and car keys recovered with her body. Nicola Bulley's Fitbit watch and car keys were recovered along with her body, a senior police officer who investigated her disappearance said. Asked what was found with her body on February 19, Lancashire Police Detective Superintendent Rebecca Smith told the inquest, her Fitbit watch and her set of Mercedes car keys. 4:56 p.m. Fitbit stopped recording steps at 9:30 a.m. Nicola Bulley's Fitbit watch stopped recording steps beyond 9:30 a.m. on the day she disappeared, a digital specialist for Lancashire Police said. DC Keith Greenhalgh told the inquest. Nicola Bulley's iPhone was recovered from a bench. The phone was intact and there was no sign that it had been in the water. Speaking about her Fitbit watch, he added, my initial thoughts were that the device lost power on February 4, 2023. He said there were no further steps recorded beyond 9:30 a.m. on January 27. 5:16 p.m. Nicola Bulley fell into the water between 9:18 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. DC Keith Greenhalgh said he believes Nicola Bulley fell into the water between 9:18 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. He told the Inquest analysis of her iPhone and Fitbit watch data suggests she, very possibly, entered the water at 9:22 a.m. on January 27. 5:24 p.m. End of Inquest Day 1. More from the inquest tomorrow. The inquest into Nicola Bulley's death continues tomorrow. We'll bring you more then. Finally, let's look at the key points for the Day 1 of the inquest. 1. No evidence Nicola Bulley was harmed as cause of death revealed. 2. Nicola was alive when she fell into the water. 3. Nicola Bulley's cause of death was drowning. 4. Police expert says Nicola fell in before floating downstream. 5. Nicola had not been drinking before her death, pathologist tells court. 6. Nicola's partner had said she's struggling after dog was found. 7. Almost freezing water was flowing twice as fast on day Nicola died. 8. Passerby saw Nicola on morning she disappeared. 9. Man saw Ms Bulley from a distance and saw man in black walk towards her. 10. Women heard scream on morning Nicola vanished. 11. Fitbit stopped recording steps at around 9:30 a.m. 12. Car keys and Fitbit found with her body. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you with the Inquest Day 2 updates tomorrow.